What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at something pretty crazy. I'm excited to test this out, honestly, because I've heard so many good things. And as you know, I use Canon for all my recording, but today in the house we have the Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra. Apparently this thing can do 4K 30 1080 at 60 with an aperture of 1.7 and HDR. So what we're gonna do is do a quick unboxing and then dive in and see what this thing does. I'll throw in a comparison to the Canon EOS RP, which is what I'm recording on right now. But 1.7 aperture, that's pretty wide. So see what this thing can do. All right, so we'll take it out of its nice cushy foam home here. If you're someone who relates weight to quality, this thing is pretty heavy, so feels like it's made really, really well. We have some nice venting on the back, assuming so it does not overheat. Let that focus. There you go. Nice venting all the way around on the back. Okay, so we actually have a shutter on the front here. If you guys can see, I'll let it focus. See that shutter? So normally this would be like the focus ring, but on here it closes the shutter, which is pretty cool. So you can't be spied on, which is nice. A couple other things we have in the box here. We have our warranty and registration card. We have a manual in a nice plastic case. Pretty cool. A cover. This is nice. So this is like a nice, like, feels like silicone cover. Put it right on the front, I guess. Let's try it out. Yeah, slides right on. Nice silicone cover. Check that out. I mean, so far this thing, it feels really nice. You know, I'm not a fan of these $300 webcams, but I've heard nothing but good things about this, so I'm actually kind of excited to try it out. And then of course we have the nice braided USB cable here. Cable feels like it's made really well also. So let's plug this thing in and see what it looks like. All right, so it looks really good right out of the box at 4K 30. So let's check out some of these settings. We can't zoom, it looks like, while we're in 2 or 4K with lens distortion compensation enabled. So I'm assuming we'll get to that setting in a second, but the camera in the corner is my Canon, and then obviously in the Razer software, this is the Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra. So we have autofocus and we have manual focus. So let's see what that's about. So like, I guess you could use the manual focus if you're kind of just sitting and streaming and you know you're not going to be moving out of focus. So let's see if we could dial that in perfectly. We would be able to get it nice. That's too much. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that. That looks nice. But for the purposes of this video, we'll keep it on auto. And then mode, we have standard. We could have it be focused on specifically faces, tracking passive or responsive. Let's put it on responsive and standard and see how well it could focus on an object. Let's take my Canon lens cap here. Cover my face. Oh, wow. That's fast. That looks really good. That looks really good. It's about a minimum of like a 4-inch focus, I would say. Yeah, about 4 inches. That looks really, really good. All right, so we'll keep that. Keep all these settings how they were. Lighting type, standard or stylized. See much of a difference there. We'll keep it on standard. Exposure, here we go, because it's a little bit blown out because this is a controlled lighting environment, and we have a fill light here. We have a key light here, and then obviously the lights behind me are acting as like hair lights. But what we can do here is lower compensation a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That looks really good. That look, might even be able to go a little bit lower, like 0.6. That looks nice. I like that a lot. So we can do manual exposure. We could change the ISO. We have metering set to how the camera evaluates exposure. Okay, so this can be average. This would be, I guess, focused on the center of the room or the video, and this would adjust exposure based on my face. So we'll leave that on average. I mean, I'm impressed with the quality of this webcam so far. Processing, we have, okay, we're on 4K 30. Let's see what 1080 60 looks like. Oh yeah, definitely a lot smoother movement. Really nice. Focus. The minimum focus distance is really, really nice. I mean, you could like take anything and hold it right up. Look at how nice this looks. I'm actually blown away with the quality of this webcam. Okay, so let's go back to 4K 30. All right, so we can have it go off of, oh, okay. So let's say we go down to performance. So the MJPEG quality, obviously you can see this looks very distorted and weird now, but let's crank it all the way up. That looks beautiful. I mean, that is a nice, crispy webcam. Let's turn HDR on, see what that looks like. HDR on, let it focus. Great coloring. This is some next level stuff, Razer. You did a good job here. Switch it to bright room. Bright room is pretty bright already, but it definitely looks better on dark room. Yeah, that looks good. That looks really, really good. Lens distortion compensation, automatically correct any distortions that occur as the camera captures scenes. Pretty cool. We're gonna leave that on. So low light compensation. So let's have a little trick here. Let's turn off our lights. So it's pretty dark. Let's turn on low light compensation. Wow. I mean, you could see the Canon just adjusted as well. But for low light 4K 30 on a webcam, I have no lights on me right now at all. The only lights in this room are my monitors and lighting behind me, ambient lighting. It's actually very dark in here. So that is nice. So we'll turn that off. We'll put our lights back on. There we go. Let's head on over to the image tab. Oh, wow. So we have some defaults here. Let's hit default. Cool, if we want a more cool vibe, not really my thing. Vibrant, whoa, that looks horrible. Warm, if we wanted a more warm tones, or custom, which to me, the way they have this set right now is look kind of perfect. But again, we're gonna keep it on defaults just for the purpose of the video. White balance, we have it on auto. 4,000, right? I mean, you could really dial this thing in and get some nice colors out of it. So anti-flicker, 60 hertz. For anyone who doesn't know, anti-flicker, what this does is, let's say you have a screen in the background, like on my Canon, how you have this screen right here. Without this, you would see that screen flickering. Even some lights like in the background, like the nanoleaf lines that I have and the LifeX beam sometimes flicker depending on what type of camera I'm using. So this is a really nice feature. As you notice in this video feed, they are not flickering at all. They are completely still. Watermark, I'm assuming this just throws a watermark on the bottom right or left of the camera. Yep, there we go. See it right here. We can mirror the video, flip it around if we want to be crazy. So that's it. That's all the features. This is pretty cool. I mean, in my opinion, the quality of this webcam is phenomenal. Like, this is, you know, I do have really, really nice lighting, but the quality of this webcam is, I think this is beautiful. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna blow it up, put it side by side with the Canon so that you guys can see it, and I'll also do some full screen shots with it as well. Okay, so here's our first side by side comparison. We have the Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra at 4K 30 FPS and the Canon EOS RP at 1080p 60 FPS. And I'm blown away by the coloring on this webcam. This is just, it's phenomenal. So let's drop the webcam down to 1080 60 and see how they compare. Okay, so now I dropped the Razer down to 1080p 60 FPS. Still beautiful, nice, smooth movement. Not as smooth as the Canon, but for a webcam, this is phenomenal. I mean, it looks great. Let's see what it looks like on full screen. We're gonna throw it back to 4K 30, and we'll also check out what 1080 60 looks like in full screen as well. Okay, so now you're looking at the Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra at 4K 30 FPS. I think it looks phenomenal. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I mean, I'm honestly blown away. I'm at a loss for words because I really have never seen a webcam that looks this good. So I'm pretty excited about this. I mean, this is a huge step, and I feel like this is a big leap towards doing some great things with webcams. Let's jump over and take a look at 1080 60 in full screen. Okay, so now you're looking at 1080p 60 FPS on the Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra, and I love how smooth it is. You know, for a webcam, you don't usually get this level of smoothness. You could see it adjusting a lot when it comes to lighting and the autofocus. So what I probably would do if I was using this camera is I would change it to a manual focus, especially if you're streaming. I'm not really moving from this spot, and I would just focus it right here on my face, and that would get rid of a lot of that blur that's happening because I'm flailing around, moving my hands, hitting my hat, and it creates a lot of blur because it's constantly trying to autofocus. But other than that, I mean, it looks great. It looks beautiful. I think that about wraps it up. I mean, this is a great webcam. A little pricey, the $300 price point, but honestly, the amount of features and the quality you're getting out of this webcam is phenomenal. So if you're asking me if I think it's worth the price, for this webcam, I would have to say yes, I do. I do think it is worth it. This is like clearly the step right under having a DSLR or mirrorless camera. And if we're comparing it to the price of that, it definitely is a fraction of the cost. So the quality here is pretty darn good when it comes to quality versus cost. So I would recommend this webcam. Razer did not sponsor this video. I bought this on my own because I was very intrigued by what I was hearing and seeing, and I wanted to test it out for myself and make a video for you guys. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next time I post a video. And if you want to hang out with me, I do stream on Twitch Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time at twitch.tv/hammerdance. And for all your tech support needs, feel free to join the community Discord. I have a link to that in the description below this video as well. You can post in the tech support channel, and either myself or some helpful members of my community will respond if they know how to assist you. But anyways, guys, that's all from me. I want you to keep those hammers up, and I'll see you next time.